Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of Malt and Magic Campaign 2. You're going to have to bear with me tonight, because yet again, I have a bit of a cold. But we're going to soldier on. I've got the Vapor Rub, I've got whiskey. We're good, we're good, we're going to get through this. But yes, hello, welcome to everyone. Thank you for all the subs that happen pre-stream, that's amazing. Again. Totally throwing me off as per usual. But yes, thank you. Welcome for joining us again. And let's, before I totally lose the plot, let's run down our usual thank yous. There's a few new things and different bits going off tonight and things to announce, so we will get through that. But yes, let's run down our usual thank yous. So first of all, huge shout out and thank you to Incarnate, Albo Radio and Dungeon Alchemist for all things virtual tabletop and mapping. And then a big shout out to Hero Forge for all things character visuals, apart from the amazing character artwork, which you will see on screen shortly, which is thank you very much to Stick in the chat. So everybody give a huge shout out to Stick, as always. Amazing artwork, still in love with it, still simping over Karsis, as we do every week. And yes, then there are the DM's tools that I use in the background. So Kasoon, 5e Magic Shop, 2 Minutes Tools, the Thieves Guild, and World Anvil, which I've been playing around quite heavily with in the last week for reasons which shall be revealed later on. And then there's the musical tracks that you can hear in the background as well, which are courtesy of Tabletop Audio or BattleBards. We are still partnered with BattleBards, so a big thank you to them for all of their musical tracks, sound effects, etc. If you want to get your own sound effects in your own home game, then please go check out BattleBards version 2.0, go sign up for their new subscription service and check out all they have to offer. At some point we will do another subscription giveaway, 1 month subscription giveaway, but we are building up to our next big giveaway, which I will talk about in just a few minutes as well. So after that, yes, please go and check out all of our social media channels. I finally updated the website today with a few extra capabilities, like the actual TikTok link, which was a good start. So yes, go check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for the social media, but also catch us here live on Twitch every Monday, and go catch the past episodes on YouTube every Friday, or when we get around to releasing them. And I say that because the podcast went out 20 minutes ago, so I apologise for that. I had an advert to record, so I got that done today, and the podcast is now live from last week. So yes, go check us out on the socials, and if you want to catch the past episodes, then please go check out the YouTube channel, or go listen to the podcast on your podcast platform of choice. If you wish to interact with us even more, then please come and join our Discord server. Stuff does happen on there, I promise. I know it's been a bit quiet of late. Life has been happening. I will publish more homebrews on there. There was the map that went up last week. And following this week, I will also put something else out there, which I figured those that have been following very closely for the last campaign and a bit will be interested to see. So yes, come and join us on Discord, and I think that's it for the usual thank yous and shout outs. Now, as I announced last week, we are now partnered with Homie and the Dude, who are another D&D podcast. They also talk about other things like UFC and MMA as well, which is quite close to my heart, so very much in love with them. But they are just about to launch their own Kickstarter for a new overlay, or set of rules, if you like, for Sky Zephyrs, which is their sky ship aerial combat module. So yes, if you want to be a sky pirate or want to go and try privateering, then please go and check out that Kickstarter. The link is live on the website, and we've got a new custom link for that, which you can go and use, which is, you can see on screen. How quick are you, Dave? That's amazing. Brilliant. So maltandmagic.co.uk/HATDKS. That will take you straight to the Kickstarter. Just sign up to be notified when it kicks off, and go and show them some amazing support. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in there. We're going to play a little bit of an ad at the break, I think, just so you can understand more about it. And then we'll go from there. And that's me for my intros. I think. Yes, we'll talk about the other bits when we kick off. So, yes, my usual warnings will and do apply. There will be adult language, most certainly, and definitely some adult humour in there. You have been warned. Let's roll. Well, that's something. Oh,
hell
so
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things to talk about there. Like, fuck me. How awesome was that for starters? So yes, well done, Dave, for the video, because it's phenomenal again. But yet again, a huge shout out to Achilles for the musical track. Again, if anybody remembers when we did the intro of campaign 1, when we changed it about halfway through, Achilles did our own custom music track for us. As soon as we went into campaign 2, I contacted Achilles again, and he's created another. He's just smashed it out of the park again. Another amazing track for us.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely did. Working off what we previously had, the way that we knew the campaign was going to go, or wanted it to go, and the setting, he really pulled that together into one musical piece, and that is tremendous.
Yes. Because we are all a big bag of spanners as well, so us trying to throw ideas at him is a nightmare. But that was a lot of fun.
He's very patient.
Yes, thank you, Achilles.
Yeah.
He was very, very patient. But yes, thank you, Achilles.
Was.
Thank you, Dave, because it's awesome. And yes, that's the new intro for campaign 2, folks. So there you go. Look forward to that. That's going out on the socials later. Cool. Yes, the other thing I needed to speak about was, of course, the giveaway, which I alluded to earlier. We are try that again, Matt. 11 followers away? I said 19 then. So yes, 11 followers away from being able to kick that off. So go tell your friends, folks. We have a one-of-a-kind item. There is only one of them. There will only ever be one of them, unless I can convince the creator to make more. But for now, there's only one of them. And it's very, very special, not to be missed. So yes, pump those followers numbers up for us, and we can get that out to a lucky winner. And yes, we'll go from there. So I said subscribers up to 10 as well, but because that fluctuates all over the shop. We've had 13 subscribers at one point, down to 8, and so yes, I'm going off follows rather than subscribers. If we can get to 10 subscribers by then, amazing, thank you very much. But yes, we will go from there. Now, I asked a question of the boys last week, and it was a pretty unanimous answer as to what I got, which was, do we think we should have a custom calendar and timeline for the world of Ardalia? It was a resounding yes, a very big resounding yes. So what I will populate in the Discord channel during the break is our new yearly calendar for the world of Ardalia, complete with day names, month names, the week and month structure, and I might also pop in some of the national holidays across Ardalia as well. There's just one additional date I need to get populated into that. We'll go from there. So from now on, we have an actual fixed date in terms of the timeline, which I can tell you when I go back to my notes to remember what the hell it is, because I've only been working with this calendar for about 4 days. But
I already regret it because I'm confused as fuck about the day of the week at the best of times, let alone now they're called different things.
So yes, the current date within our game world is the 13th day of the month of Raylar in the year 2172 PDW. PDW standing for Post-Divine War. So yes, lots of lore to go on behind the scenes. I will start to populate as much as I can in our Discord followers chat, so look out for that as well. And there, yes, so lots of good things, when I can get my words out, lots of good things happening at Malt Magic.
It did also force mainly Matt to go and check this out, but also to also have a guessing game as to how long in-game days this campaign has been going on for, and it wasn't the answer we were expecting.
Mike, I was like 2 months.
There was...
Surely. It's been like 20 minutes.
Much.
It's been 12 days.
12 days. We're not even at the end of a fortnight here, everybody.
And we've all died.
Yeah, stick you close, as I say, just over a week and just under a fortnight. Unbelievable.
12 days.
It's quite mad, though.
It's just over... Go on.
I was going to say, because we were saying offline, should we be as close as we are, given we've only known each other for 12 days, and then we were well, actually, we've all died together. which kind of just bombs you, doesn't it?
It has that effect.
Yeah. Shared trauma.
So I'm told.
So yeah, it's just over an Ardalian week, which is 10 days. So.
Well, luckily Lex
Spoilers.
is still on Mechanics time, so he can just say whatever day of the week he fucking wants.
Very good. Yes, Stick is very right. The first 5 episodes did happen in 2 days. 2 days. In fact, I think... Where do we get to?
It was something like three or
seven. The first 7 sessions were literally the period of 2 days, and then session 8 did a big jump from 2 to 8 days. Sessions 9 and 10 were on the same day, and then session 11, when we were going to Agrues, was the next big jump from 8 to 10 days, and then we've had a few days in between that. So yeah,
unbelievable. We need to stop fucking about and go to sleep a lot more.
I mean, that's another thing we have known, that we are not getting as many long rests as we usually do.
So there we go. Very good then. So last week we sort of dealt with the aftermath of the attack in the alley. So the bounty hunter Dragonborn and his lackeys had attacked you and dropped Karsis, and an unlikely ally or an unknown ally had sort of saved you, or at least helped you to defeat those bounty hunters. They originally told you to run, but this party, being this party, just went, why the fuck would we do that? And fought anyway, which is standard. I like it. Chaos. And so yes, we dealt with the aftermath of that, heading back to sort of the tavern room to have a discussion with the individual themselves, whose name has just dropped out of my brain as well. Ashira Nightshade, thank you. Thanking myself there as if somebody was like pinging me in the background, but no, that was me thanking my brain. God. Tonight's going to be a long night. So yes, Ashira Nightshade sort of introduced herself somewhat. You understood that she is part of another organisation or faction. You don't know the name of that faction. You've discovered a few things about her, but she still remains very much a mystery, but has sort of alluded to the fact that she's been watching from the shadows. I almost said Dargon there as well. Jewel, you then also read the letter. My God. Also read the letter that you'd been given from the excuse me, Serpent's Cloak, and proceeded to understand that you now had a task to do, as well as being formally invited into the Serpent's Cloak and being given the brooch, or the little badge, and a little vial from Linda. I said it first. And we're instructed that you needed to slip this into the morning tea of the local blacksmith. So off we went into town to go and do some shopping, where various items were bought, a few magic items, some smoke bombs, some different items, and then eventually you made your way round to the blacksmiths. We had a long conversation, and Karsis decided they wanted to get their sword sharpened, which is not a euphemism.
For a change.
Indeed. Got their sword sharpened, but also was interested in the inventory that this individual had, and in doing so then purchased a brand new sword, which I have now completely homebrewed, but it's thanks to the Griffin's saddlebag, or at least the ideas are thanks to the Griffin's saddlebag, and that is now in Cars's inventory, and the sword is currently being sharpened, so you will go and pick those back up, I believe. But you then went wandering around to some other shops, having picked up some items, and that's pretty much it for last week. It was a lot of shopping, and as we know, shopping always takes some time. But I think the next stop on our journey was the library or bookstore or something of that ilk. So, my party of chaotic adventurers, I could have said something totally different there. What are we doing? And where are we going?
Just as a side note,
yeah, go on.
Chaotic Cunts would be a great name for a party. Just saying.
Yeah.
I had a mouthful of whiskey, dude.
Yeah. Lex wouldn't approve.
That is
but
already
Danny
the unofficial
approves.
name for the party now. That's great.
Yeah.
Well done.
Anyway,
Amazing.
Not that this isn't. I'm just going to say, as a side note to the way that the episode ended last time, was Jewel was slightly more subdued once that she had seen something that she believed was that they were in the right shop. That's her understanding. After that, she's kind of a zombie following the other two, to be honest.
And I really can't remember why we were going to the library. But Carsus wanted to go to the Golden Quill as well, didn't they?
yes.
For some scrolls and shit. Technical term.
Some scrolls and shit.
Yeah.
That is what we wanted
Scrolls,
to do.
aisle 1, shit, aisle 7.
I'm scouring the notes, but why did we want to go to the library?
To learn more about stuff that might be happening here.
So when we were looking at more information as to again what happened back in, and I can never remember the name of the first city. And Jewel wants to go to start looking at what the hell's going on with her, and is there anything that matches? I'm sure Carsis wanted to see something, but I can't remember what that was. Maybe.
So, I mean, generally, you were all trying to take further steps on that investigation into what the fuck happened with Artemisia and the Alchemist back in Thalissa.
Thalissa, that's the one.
Do you think it'd make us look guilty if we got a How to Get Away with Murder book? Just to try and, or at least frame somebody else for what we've been framed for.
You remember what you've got to do is
sense.
just listen to crime podcasts, and then it's not suspicious.
Yes. Right, I'll watch Dharma on Netflix and then I'll come back to you.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so I guess we'll take the library first.
Okay. So, does anybody have any idea where the library is?
We could
Yes,
ask
in
around.
town.
It's in town.
It's a big fucking city.
Oh, we missed the most important bit from
For
last
anybody
week.
that's
Cass has got a pet bat. Really cute.
Yes.
yes, we did
Yes.
miss the important bit
Double
last
back.
week.
Okay.
That's
Tabitha.
my bad.
Stick
I
for a moment.
apologise. Tabitha. Yes. Cool. So I'll say, for the sake of brevity, you ask around as to where the local library is, and people again point you to the Golden Quill, which is the bookshop. Sort of, if you want to go buy books, that's the place to go. But they also inform you that there is an education quarter of sorts, where there's a bit of a grand university, which is to the northwest of the city, if you like, as I pull up the map of Agruz there. You are currently, and have pretty much for most of your time in Agruz, been in pretty much the central area of the city, or at least the southwest, slightly southwest of the central area of the city. So you begin to make your way northeast, and head along sort of one of the main routes, and eventually you step out of the merchants district, this grand bazaar, and in front of you you see this huge circular oasis, full of this crystal clear water, and in the centre there are these almost like small little I wanted to say man-made, mortal-made islands, or islets, if you like. There seems to be like these small little triangular islets, and then this much larger central island, which is covered in palm trees. There are a few people sort of lounging around on the edge of the oasis, but you also notice that there's people making offerings to this oasis as well, and either floating flowers across to the central part of the oasis, or or various other places. What you do notice is as you look to your far right that this oasis is not a perfect circle. It doesn't close, it actually turns then to a small canal of sorts, which seems to bend further around the city. So yes, left or right, I suppose, is the answer. The question even, fuck me.
Is yeah, sorry. So we have been roughly given directions, but we just need to get over or around the canal. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing you see as well is beyond this oasis there is a hillside, a cliffside, if you like, and up the top of that you can see the walls of the building, which Lex, you will know, having been informed previously, is where the palace sits. Within a Gruz. So this is where the mayor currently resides.
Can I do a roll to see if I notice Jewel is looking a bit distracted or a bit on autopilot?
Make me an insight check, please. And then Jewel, make me a persuasion or deception check. Don't tell me which, just tell me the
For
results.
fuck's sake. 7.
7.
Doesn't matter. I don't notice.
8. You were lucky. Unlucky,
8.
sorry.
You know.
So I say you're looking around. Jewel just seems quiet more than anything. So yes, what do we want to do? Left, right, swim.
Swim. That's a great option. Let's try and walk on water. Let's spend the whole episode trying to get across the water rather than go around it. We've got form for that sort of thing.
That
Kira
sounds,
casts water walk.
yeah.
So while you're thinking about this, Carsis, there's a question in the chat. Where does Tabitha sleep? Tucked up in your dreadlocks, or
Yeah, probably, or tucked between the pecs.
tucked between the pecs, like it? Just like Super Mario style between the...
Yeah. Well, what do we think that we might find the library here? I'm kind of tempted to go left.
Yeah, left it is.
I have no reason to choose it right, so works for me.
Okay.
All right, then we'll take left.
So you turn left and begin to make your way around this oasis. And eventually you find the way in front of you sort of cut off. You can't get any further around the oasis as you see this fenced off area with this sanded field, very rectangular in nature, and you see a training ground full of soldiers and guards. So as I had explained before, these guard individuals are adorned in this sort of black chitinous armour with these scorpion-like heads, if you like, or helmets that they have. And they are training with swords, with spears, scimitars. There's some bowmen there as well. All manner of size and shape of individuals. And yes, the only way around is to then follow this main route even further left, and to almost make your way around what is quite clearly a barracks area or military area.
Yeah, definitely follow. Keep walking around that then.
I think we chose the long way.
Now, as you follow this route, Lex, there's a sense of almost like deja vu as you look to your left and then you see the Grand Temple of Palor again. Still with all the palm trees around it and slightly more greenery. And you realise that actually you've come at this from a different angle now. You've come at one of the main routes. But you continue on your way round. And then sort of make a turn towards the palace.
Like a tour guide, I'll say to the group, if you look to your left, you see that temple there? I tried to solicit their help to save your life, Jewel, and they shot us down. Wanted payment, wanted too much money, so never asked them for help. Worthless.
Well, maybe we should, help ourselves to some of the earnings.
A god refused to help? Well, that's new.
Well, I don't think it was the guard. I think it was the people pretending
right.
follow their guidance. Yeah.
I see.
If I spoke to a guard and asked them for help, I'd kind of lead with that story. But no, just
I am pretty
just
sure
in the
that whoever's god it was they would likely give you the same answer as their followers.
I'm sure you'd have liked the god in the previous life, Dave. But yeah, you'll not know.
It sounds like a pompous prick.
What you do notice then as you pass this temple district is a number of individuals in robes, and they do hold themselves with pompous prick decorum is what I'm going to call it. Because they've got their noses up, wandering around, very different from the individuals that you saw and interacted with from the small temple of Ray, of the Everlight. And so you continue on your journey. You turn right towards the palace and you realise that you are passing almost through the military district now, if you like. You can see a small guardhouse to your right and then the barracks that continue on, but to your left there is a fortress, or a small fortress I'm going to say. Very heavily guarded, very thick walls, parapets, turrets everywhere. But you do see a number of non-guard individuals walking in with weapons. And you continue on your journey. Unless you want to stop me at any point.
Does it seem like people are looking at us? Is this like a small town energy, or we're just like stumbling upon? No one's really looking.
Maybe a perception or insight check. I'll allow you to choose that one.
As if that is going to make any difference. Unnatural one.
An unnatural one, fantastic.
Not many people can say that.
Karsus is loving life right now, just enjoying the sunshine, chilling out in the midsummer weather, and just loving life, enjoying seeing
the
people with weapons. I think. And,
yeah, the half cape's definitely behind the body to show off.
Yeah. The abs, the pecs, everything's out right now, just flexing. Sun's out, guns out, all that stuff.
Is there any sign of any people holding many books?
Fucking chat. Is there sign of anybody holding any books? Make me a perception check, please. Or in fact, I'll use your passive perception because again, it's fucking stupid.
It's 42.
No, you don't see anyone walking around with books. Mainly seems to be weapons or armor or shields.
Are we sure that the library is this way?
No.
Good. This is wonderful.
Well, I thought this was the sort of educational part, so that's I assumed it was going to be here, but
maybe it is a little further up.
I mean, the oasis is circular, right? So if we walk long enough, we'll end up in the right place, or back where we started, at least.
Then let us keep walking.
Because we're in like a military district, is it like we're walking through like an RAF base, or is it? So we look out a place, or are they just in and amongst the people, and we're fitting in with other civilians?
In and amongst the people to an extent, but it is also quite clearly a region within the city. So there's a heavier presence of guards here, but they seem to be more off out to various places and traversing through this district, or heading back home for a rest, or heading out onto their watch and their shift. So yes, as you turn right and sort of continue forward, however, you do see this grand staircase that leads up to the palace, and at the top of the staircase you would see a gatehouse at the top.
Gatehouse.
Well, the gatehouse of the castle, but I assume the
Gatehouse of the palace.
palace, not castle. Yeah, so guessing that's not the way we want to go. Well, let us hope that
The road does continue on around the cliff edge, if you like.
Let us hope it is round next to further around here. We definitely took us the wrong way.
Well, at least we know where these things are. We can count it as reconnaissance. Valuable intel, you might say.
We know much more of the cities than we did half an hour ago.
True.
What you will probably begin to realise at this point is that this city is much larger than you originally thought and had originally seen. There is so much more to this city than you'd previously explored. You had maybe seen 5-10% of it. So yes.
Just looking around for the fast travel portal. Like, where is it?
Yeah, is there any tuk-tuks or like taxi services?
Anyone jumping on the back of a Minotaur?
There's no taxi services or tuk-tuks as such, but you do see the odd person sort of running around with a cart, or maybe have a horse and cart, or yeah, we'll leave it at that. A horse and cart, maybe a camel and cart here or there. I'm going to homebrew the Ardalian version of a Segway now, just because that's been suggested.
It just run off a rough strife nugget, wouldn't it? That'd work.
Yeah, of course.
That's right, wheels, carved.
It's a high magic world. We're all good.
Or an artificer would make it, wouldn't they, really?
The original description we got was that it would be over in the
northeast side of the city, and currently you have had to traverse more west than you were planning on.
Cool. Knowing that we
I told you we'd make it hard work.
We certainly have. Can Jules stop one of the passers-by and then... excuse me? Is this the right way to the library?
You speak with a very fine accent, my friend. The library. I imagine you are searching for the university. It has a library attached.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Well, fantastic. If you follow around the cliff, don't go up. Stay next to the side. Keep it on your right-hand side as you follow all the way around. You will enter into our education district and sort of our administrative district as well. University cannot be missed. Grand building. There is a beautiful garden in the center.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. This way, and we'll start walking back, presumably.
No, you carry on going. Well, you carry on going the other way.
Yeah.
Because if you come back under, it's gonna. So you carry on around, heading sort of towards the northern part, and eventually you crest around the other side of this cliff. Find another set of stairs that lead up, but then before you start to see buildings that are much bigger, and you start to see these marble domes as well, and mosaic domes as well. And then you see it. It is a glittering building. It is beautiful amongst all of the sandstone houses and buildings that stand around it. It's almost curved in nature, and has these big silk sort of tarps across the top of certain parts of this garden, which is, you see, accessed by a small-ish gate. There's probably enough room to fit a cart in. You now see a number of individuals that are not necessarily just walking around with books, but also a number of individuals with musical instruments, or sorry, Leicester City are playing and we almost scored a goal. So walking around with musical instruments or are studying the arts as well. and this seems to be a collective university of such, not just studying the arcane. In fact, it doesn't look like there's anybody studying the arcane here, but more of a general education or a bardic college or those sorts of things.
Does it look like...
a bard again? See you in a bit.
Does it look like this is the first of a collection of buildings dedicated to teaching, or is that the only building?
It is certainly the largest one, and you get the impression that this is probably the university, but then you do spot a number of smaller buildings where people are clearly coming to and from with either study materials or books. It seems you found the education district.
Great. I'll go forward towards one of the individuals that might be practicing a musical instrument, and I will do a deep bow, so I'll be about Joel's height, and and I will ask. Morning. I was hoping to try to find a library of sorts where myself and my companions can get some information about the city and about, just learn a little bit more about the order of the universe.
Okay. And this human individual sort of looks up where they've been playing a lyre of sorts, and there's this large plumed hat that they wear, and they just look up. Well, that's a mighty fine accent you've got there. If you're looking for a library, well, it certainly depends on what sort of books you're looking for. You don't seem the musical sort to me, my friend.
No, not looking particularly for music, just knowledge.
Well, I suppose the general library is... I've gone West Country there. The general library is in the main... is in the main university. If you're just looking for books on... But I don't know, really. I study at the Bardic College, just across the way. It's got some grand affiliations, that one. But, yeah, you sound more like you're looking for the general, histories and stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I'd head up to the main university building then and see if we can get access to their library. They tend to only like students going in there, but I'm sure you can barter some sort of access. And I've gone West Country again.
Just out of curiosity,
yeah, I'm
is
sure.
the Bardic College King Anders College of Eloquence?
Not saying anything.
Oh, I just wanted a bit of an ego stroke, but you wouldn't confirm it, never mind.
Yes, thank you. We'll try to get access. Is there a look of recognition on this person's face?
They recognize the accent, at least, and you understand that they speak with a similar accent to yours. Make me an insight check, please.
Another unnatural one.
No, 4.
4.
Nailed it.
You don't get the sense they recognize you as an individual.
Ouch. I am the perfect fugitive with low insight. Great. Yeah, I will go back to my companions, and I will follow the directions of this.
You've got a reputation now. Nobody knows you. You've gone too far past it.
Damn.
It no longer
How should I
perceives
feel
you.
about that? Follow the instructions and try to find the general knowledge library as opposed to the college.
Do you
As you
think
begin to
that,
head off then,
if it's only for students,
the individual...
What?
Carry on, Daddy.
Who's going? Me, you. What's happening? Satellite delay.
You go.
Do you think, with it being a study, going to be a student to get in, I should pretend to be a traveling scholar or something? Not that they wouldn't believe
Well,
you
it's
two aren't learned individuals, but I suppose I'm dressed like a college professor.
True, it's either that or I'll just put my charms to the work again. Worked last time.
Or yeah, you could just fuck them. Yeah, that does seem to work.
There is a snort from underneath this plumed hat.
I meditated and my emotions are not in check, so you're going to get wildcat like today.
No, they're not.
Just absolutely no filter. Yeah, you could just do that. Just very matter of fact.
I will say, as you wander off from underneath that plumed hat, there is a muttering, and you just about catch this, Carsis. If I were an individual with that sort of accent and your looks, I'd maybe not be so blasé about my appearance. Just a friendly reminder.
I don't know what to make of that.
Did it sound like threatening, or was it just a...
No, it sounded more like a warning. There was no malice in it, I'm going to say. It was like a bit of advice.
I'm going to very much
made it
shout.
sound more malevolent than it needed to be.
I'm going to very much turn to the other two and say, well, who the fuck cares? And then I'm just going to keep them walking.
I mean, yeah. Who cares about what? Fucking a receptionist or that guy? What are you talking about?
Breaking news, someone gets killed in the university tonight.
Well, yeah, because fucking a receptionist worked out so good for his last time.
Well, right.
So
we keep talking about this. We still don't know that was what happened. For certain. It's
okay.
a running theory.
Yeah, that's my lead theory at the moment. If there's a minotaur on the front desk, we are not going in. I'll tell you that now.
What if it is a big and strong minotaur?
Well, as long as he talks in full sentences and he's not a Luddite, then I think that's okay.
I think, Cassis, you really should see if you can charm your way in, unless you don't want to. But it sounds like we are going to have to make our way in there somehow.
But I always try to charm my way in.
As we start walking up to the main building, Julie's going to just lift her hood.
Okay. So you lift the hood and sort of blend into that hood. It is still bright daylight out here, though, so as much as you sort of have shadow across your face, they still know you're there. The sun is now glinting off of the rings. I think we said there were gold rings in your horns, Carsis. Am I correct on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's glinting off those gold rings in Carsis's horns. And also the shine just inside your pocket as what little wind is there blows your coat open, Lex, as it catches just the top edge of Cog. And you enter into this beautiful garden. There are shrubs, flowers, trees, and all manner of plant life in here that you simply did not expect for a mainly desert-faring city. Clearly, somebody has spent a lot of time and effort cultivating these plants and spent a lot of effort building this garden. And you see a main entrance just beyond, past a grand fountain that sits in the centre of this quad, I'm going to call it, where there are a couple of what look like standard students as in people in simple clothes, maybe writing on parchment and studying from books. There's no magic, no music, there's nothing of note other than the fact they look like students. What do we wish to do?
Looks like a shit university, doesn't it? There's no Jaeger bombs, no pies.
Can I just point out this is the university building? When were we doing Jaeger bombs in the university building, mate?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've snuck a tequila in the booth.
Oh, it's all coming out now.
Snuck.
Yeah.
I suppose just see where the main wave of people are coming in and out of. So assume that is the main door, and kind of just find the reception and ask information.
Okay, so you wander over, and there is a reception of sorts, a desk, which is actually a central hexagonal desk to this building, and you see the number of rooms, this grand sort of marble hallway. It's quite dark in here, but you realise that the darkness comes again from these plants that grow inside, they're all potted, but they're quite large, either palm trees or different shrubs. And eventually you sort of walk up, and behind the desk of sorts, or behind the we'll call it a desk, is a furbolg individual who in just simple grey robes of sorts, or at least a robe-like shirt, and they just look up. Hello. Welcome to the University of Agruz.
As we were walking in, were there any signs or obvious directions towards the library?
Maybe again, passive perception. Yes.
Cool. Jewel peels off before we ever get to the desk and just starts, surreptitiously and stealthily, basically by looking like she's essentially a large cloak of someone, trying to.
Make me a stealth check, please.
Wonderful.
I'm not going to notice that.
No. I'm not even going to want to roll to see if I notice it. It's funny if we're down.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's a 29.
Jewel just, with the darkness of this room, just fucking gone. Nobody notices.
22 above my passive perception.
Jewel is gone. Jewel has stealthed herself into another dimension.
Great. She goes back to campaign 1. I will.
I think with that roll, it's campaign 3.
Dargon, pleasure to meet you.
I'll approach the Furbolg. Furbolg, you said, right?
Yes, Furbolg, male individual.
Then I will.
This bluish hair.
Hello. Thank you for your hospitality. We're trying to find directions to the library. We've been traveling far and wide to try and find the knowledge that is ingrained in here. We've heard great things about the library here, so we'd like to have a look, perhaps.
Are you students here? I'm assuming no.
Lex here is. I work as protection for him.
Yeah, that's a believable, valid story, and I'm a traveling scholar. Me and my apparently it's just the two of us today. It's just the two of us.
Fuck's sake.
We'll never get anything done in this campaign.
So this Furbolg's just going to stand there, and there is just sort of a raised eyebrow. Right. So you're the travelling scholar from what university?
Macanus. It's northwest. It's quite a small one, to be fair. You might not have heard of it.
And you study what exactly?
Mechanics.
Mechanics? Engineering?
Yeah.
Oh, very well. Well, yes, I can grant you access to the library for a number of hours. If you want the whole day, then it will be a small donation to the university. And yes, mechanics and engineering. In which case we'll waive the fee for today, since it's your first visit to the University of Agruz. So yes, if you take a left from the desk here, slightly down the stairs, you'll see the signs leading to the library. It will lead you into sort of an underground portion, and the library is just on your right to the bottom. Very large, so to save you getting lost, engineering is all the way to the bottom. Second right, first left.
Oh. And to make it easier for us to find the books we want, I'm assuming we use the Dewey Decimal System? Just want to get ahead of the filing protocol.
It's all in alphabetical order by topic, and then by author.
What? Oh. Okay, that's weird. Okay.
I'm sure you'll find it. Great. Okay. We'll go after Lex. And when we are far enough away from the Furbolg, I'll say, "What happened to Jewel?"
I have no idea. I thought she
keeps Jewel.
Jewel, are you here? I'm like, wafting my arms around, see if I can feel her. No.
Jewel has definitely gone beeline for the library.
Sorry, did you drop a jewel somewhere?
Yeah, I thought I'd lost my necklace, but it's okay. I found it. Thank you.
Okay. If you do lose anything, I'd suggest you try either tell someone or try and find it quickly. Things will go missing very quickly around here. Students, after all.
Yeah. I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
Most welcome. Enjoy your books on engineering. It's nice to, not many in the city tend to study that. We had one individual. They were a bit batshit crazy, if I'm totally honest.
Oh, maybe you can tell me about them on the way out.
If you like, of course. Surely your studies are more important to you.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Goodbye.
Goodbye. While this is all going on then, Jewel,
trouble. Why did you save me?
You have ventured down the stairs and found the door to the library. I'm going to say you've sort of hidden in the shadows for a moment until somebody opens the door, and as the door's closing, you just sort of sneak your way in. And the library is not as grand as the library of Thalissa. It's much simpler in here. Just wooden bookshelves. It stinks of books. Just generally stinks of old paper. And yeah, you see a few desks. There's not a lot of people in here. You would expect it to be busier, being a university library. There's fuck all anybody in here. A few, maybe 3 students that you can see at least from where you are, and just rows and rows of books with small little placards coming out of the bookshelves with various titles on. There's sort of history, geography, engineering, science, and yeah, all broken down into topic areas. You also see one section devoted to music and another section devoted to politics, a section devoted to the art of dictation, I'm going to say, or the art of eloquence.
This time definitely trying to look for the more, I was going to say more arcane, but actually would probably divert, or if it caught her eye, would be looking for the planes for extra planar travel, and obviously anything that catches her attention of the astral plane.
Okay, make me an investigation check, please.
Yeah, so that's going to be garbage. 12.
12. You look around and you sort of think, science, maybe we head down that way. And you wonder, you find nothing. Nothing that talks about planes or planar travel as such.
Would probably then if there's like a religious section, probably head to that and look for anything around. Don't know what the word would be, but revivification. Bringing people back, basically.
Okay. So you wander over to the religious studies. Make me another investigation check, please. I'll say at this point, as Jewel is off in the side, Carsis and Lex, you enter into the library and see very similar to Jewel, but you at least know where you're heading for engineering, at least.
Yeah.
Jewel?
What section do you think we should go for?
It's a 12 again. Looks exactly the same.
Okay.
Not
I'm thinking I'll look for planes and portals, maybe. Do you want to research magical items that can control shadow creatures or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be looking at that. I'll be looking into shadow creatures and the undead, because it seems to be classified as the same.
Do you think it might be worth trying to do some investigatory work on the organizations or of this part of the world to try and figure out who our tiefling friend might be a part of?
Good point as well. Yeah.
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 I'll look for that too. So I'll be looking for portal books and, I don't know, not secret organizations, but major organizations of this part of the world.
Okay. So I'm going to ask...
Very vague request.
Make me an investigation check. Jewel, you head over to the religion section and begin to start flicking through books. You pull one book down. Most of the books in here, from what you can see, are talking about the gods and the different names for gods. There's nothing around resurrection or divine magic or anything like that here. You don't really find anything talking about the arcane.
I mean, I know it's not a great roll, but with that sort of failure of finding anything, would I be able to at least find a book on the deity who kind of helped bring me back? Something that just is like...
Yes.
Yeah, just
So
any book like that.
Ray as a deity is certainly described.
Yeah.
In many of the books, as you start to read about the prime deities and how there's 12 of them, how the calendar months are devoted to the names of the 12 prime deities. There you go, there's my nice little segue into that one for you. And you begin to understand about the commandments, that she was for a long period of time she was forgotten, and it's only in recent years that there's been a resurgence in both Ray and the goddess Ioun.
Quickly reading that then, do I see the other two come in?
You will have noticed more people come in, and you can probably hear their voices, as Lex is not a quiet individual. So, Lex, Carsis, investigation checks were...
I rolled a 1. Yeah.
I wouldn't be looking for what I said I would look for, and I would instead be looking out for any books that talk about the influence of devil creatures on the material plane. If there's anything about those devil creatures laying with individuals that are not devils, then I will definitely have a look at that. My investigation roll is...
Make me an investigation roll, yeah?
19.
Ooh.
19. You head over to the history section. And begin to sort of flick through books, and you find a book that sort of sits in this blurred area between history and religion sorts. And you read about common myths or legends, and begin to flick through one of the books, and it talks around how tieflings themselves are said to have come around or come about. And it describes that although they are more plentiful now, in the early days of Ardalia, sort of maybe 1,000, 2,000 years ago, which history is still, we still have some histories there. A tiefling was a devil spawn creature, a creature only formed through the union of humanoid and devil kin. You begin to read that there's many legends of demons and devils seducing humanoid women, humanoid individuals, to impregnate them and sort of spawn legions of individuals that could then fight for them. With the 19, there's also a footnote where you read, this practice was not uncommon or said to be uncommon with the deities themselves, where more often than not a deity would make their way to the material plane and create a half-breed of sorts.
Smells like Zeus to me. Cool. Nice. Okay. Cool. If I have time, I would, happy with my acknowledging my discoveries, not particularly happy about them. I would then perhaps try to look for something, since I'm near the religious sector, about shadows, see if there's anything else that we might not know of, if they are known practices with them, if there are any patterns on the type of individuals that would do that, anything that I can get to gather information and make an assumption.
Make me another investigation check, please.
25.
Oh,
25. You stay in this same area where you've sort of blurred the lines between religion and history. And a similar book that talks around ancient ritual or ancient rituals of past organisations or past civilizations was the word I was looking there. There is some talk in here of blood magic or supposed blood magic that's used to summon things, but you also begin to read about shadow sorcery and how it is said that shamans of old, those who first studied the nature of the ley lines and the nature of the wild magic of Ardalia, how they are said to have communed with worlds beyond and pulled creatures in spirit form or half form or shade form into this world to do their bidding. The bit that stands out for you in that, quite evidently, is pulled from worlds beyond.
Would I be able to assume from the way that the text talks about this, that worlds in this case could be a misuse of a word that we understand as planes?
Yes, I'll allow that.
Great. Cool. Awesome. Okay.
So, if I were looking for 2 books, do I get to do another roll to at least find one out of the 2?
Yep. Roll me
Which
another
one?
investigation check, and you're going to have to remind me what you were looking for there as well.
Well, I was looking for one on portals, because I only got the divine portal
Which you didn't
ones, so there
find.
might be non-goddy portals, which I didn't find, and this one is going to be organisations of Ardalia or something to try and figure out who this tiefling woman belongs to.
Yep.
So, come on. Don't be shit. 16. That's a bit better.
16. You find a book that talks about the ancient factions of Ardalia, or secret societies. And again, it's a book that talks a lot around ifs and buts and maybes. There's no concrete fact. Roll me a d20, please.
3.
3. You flick through this book, and with your emotions out of check today, you very quickly get bored with the monotonous text and description and just put it back.
Damn.
Have you found
Oh,
anything yet?
What the? God damn it!
I'm sorry, I did not want to wait.
Startled me. What? We need a code word or something. We need a secret signal, because my heart can't take much more of this.
So me saying the code word out of the blue is going to be better for you?
Touche. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I can always do boo if you like.
Maybe, can you, I don't know, send me a little signal? Something that's just not as alarming?
I shall think on
If you
it.
tickle.
But it is quite funny
Sorry,
to make
you
you
were
jump
saying-
anyway. I am sorry. It is
Oh,
just
yeah.
it is my humor. Have you found anything? I have not really found much.
I think I've just found some shit in my pants, but other than that, no books now.
Yes, this has been rather a bust for me. But I was being rather selfish on the research, I have to admit.
Well, I was looking at portals, and I was trying to investigate secret organizations of Ardalia, trying to figure out who that tiefling woman belonged to. But
Have you looked under S for secret organizations?
well, this book I found
Seeing as you
here.
were there, what's your passive investigation?
1,000,000.
It's another 20, yeah.
Okay. As Lex sort of closes the book and sort of is putting it away while speaking to you, there is a symbol on one of the pages that you just catch, as Lex is putting the book on the shelf again. And it looks like a book with sort of the symbol of an open book with something on it. You don't quite catch the full symbol, but you at least catch part of it.
After having put the other book back, now that I've sort of read that one, once he's let go, when we've had the chat, I'll just pick it back out and, like, I'm just going to be perusing through to, again, see if I found anything interesting. Having that caught my eye, so I will look through to see if I can find that symbol, to see what it was. Was it similar to what I thought it was?
Okay. So you flick back through and you roughly find around where it was and flick across a few pages, and there, dead centre at the top of the page, is the symbol that's a Shira wore around her neck. An open book with a maze-like structure inside of it and some arcane runes around it. Somehow clicks his pen to get.
Okay,
And
yeah.
the
So
title
I'd also with this would look up, try and see Cassis. Lex, I think I found something. Cassis, and see if he comes over. They come over.
Yeah. Look over. See that the both of them are there, including Jewel. I'll make my way around.
Okay, so you head
It's
over.
nice to see you again.
Yes. I wanted to get to the library. I thought that your distraction would let me in, and it did. Sorry, I couldn't say I found where the library was, because I'd already gone. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we had
sorry.
a pretty good double act going. We had that guy convinced on reception.
Well, that is marvellous.
Great
Was
performance.
alright.
Carsus didn't have to have sex with them either, so that was great.
Well,
I don't
that
think-
is a shame on their part, I am sure.
Well, was they your type?
By the way, shh.
I'm sorry, I'm getting off track.
Yes, I this symbol. It was what. Oh God, I've got that many windows open.
Miss Lampshade.
Yes, it was what Ashira had in her had honor. So perhaps this has something to do with it.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that.
Please look and sort of like shove it over the table to Lex.
Okay. At the top of this
You're
page,
right, is it?
just underneath the symbol, it reads the Ancient and Silent Order of Sitharas. And I will drop the title into
Yes.
our
The spelling
spell
wrong.
that.
so you know what the fuck that says.
What happened then? Oh, there we go.
So there you go.
The image of an angel becomes an angel. What?
So you begin to...
Does that name ring bells?
Oh, make me a history check, please.
Can we all do
definitely
that?
doing that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dice. Don't fail me now.
Don't be whining.
Ah, balls. You're going away now. You may have rolled me a natural 20.
I'm changing. I'm also changing dice. I rolled a 10.
Yeah, I rolled a 13. It was one better than the one before.
Rolled 15.
15. Again, Carsis, I think it was the same last week. There is a niggling. There is something. You've heard this name, Sitharas, before, somewhere. Can't pinpoint where or how, but something just rings a bell.
Cool. What does it say?
So as you begin to read, and sort of, Lex, I'll say you put it down on one of the desks and you all lean over and read the book. And it describes that the Ancient and Silent Order of Sitharas was is a long-fabled, secretive organisation that were supposedly dedicated to maintaining the idea of balance and harmony across Ardalia.
Oh, Lex gets a boner.
Oh,
Their origins are totally shrouded in mystery, and indeed their existence is never confirmed or is not confirmed at the time of writing this entry. From the information, this reads now as sort of a diary entry, from the information I've been able to gather, they operate in most certainly in secretive ways, and are said to thwart evil and uphold justice where needed. The rumours I have heard of their individuals of the Order are that they are highly skilled, very disciplined. They have devoted their lives to the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. I suspect many of them are scholars. I suspect some of them may also be mystics or other learned individuals who have mastered the arts of both magic and combat. The only thing I have found is this symbol, this book with a maze and the arcane runes. There is no rumour, mystery, myth or legend I can find that talks about the organization's structure, or what and how they are formed and found and grow. But what is quite evident is that the individuals that are spoken of in myth, rumour and legend are highly knowledgeable of both past and present, and sometimes future, apparently. It must be a great challenge for them not to upset the natural balance of things, and only interfere where necessary.
Well, I don't know about you two, but I want to be part of that, if they exist.
Well,
which we know
I'm
they
flicking
do.
for the pages, looking to see if it tells me how to join. There's no application form or anything.
There is one single page. That is it.
When we all do get to the end of it, Lex, may I have a quick scroll through the rest of the book?
Yeah, by all means, take it.
A DM, can I look through to see whether the Serpent's Cloak is also in this book?
And while he's doing
yes,
that,
maybe an
I'll ask
investigation check.
Cog if he's heard of this wonderful new organisation. I want to be a part of it.
I'll say with advantage, Jules, seeing as you've got both of your companions there.
Fucking hell. I rolled an 18 and then a natural 20, 25. Oh,
Nice.
God. It's ridiculous.
So you begin to flick through and you find the symbol of the Serpent's Cloak.
Total shit in combat, by
That
the way,
snake
always.
head with the blade. With the blade plunged through it. And this diary reads, the Serpent's Cloak are less of a secret organisation than they would like to be. They are well known across Ardalia, and indeed it is said that the king in the east made use of their services
Yeah, it did.
prior to ascending to the throne. From what I understand about this organisation, they are not one to be crossed, nor one that I particularly would like to work with. They toe that fine line between neutrality and evil, dealing in assassination, thievery, secrecy, and spying. They work for the highest bidder, the person willing to pay the most. And when somebody forgets to pay, well, the consequences are dire. Never seen or never heard of anybody leaving the Serpent's Cloak. But there are many stories of individuals disappearing. There is then a description that talks about the supposed rank structure of the Serpent's Cloak. They describe this thieves' guild is made of between 6 and 7 key ranks and individuals of certain stature. The basic rank, from what I understand, is known as the Shadow Initiate, who are new members of the organisation, still learning the ropes, so to speak, proving their loyalty. They are often tasked with simple jobs, like pickpocketing or lookout duty, sometimes given tasks to prove their worth and ascend to the next rank. This next rank is known as the Fang. These are the enforcers. They use their brute force or their trickery, their skills, to get exactly what the Serpent's Cloak wants. They're often called upon to rough up someone who owes money, or to intimidate folks who refuse to pay protection money. The third rank is known as the Whisperer. These are some of the most skilled thieves within the organisation. They specialise in stealing purses, wallets, small items without getting caught. Often operate in busy marketplaces or crowded streets. Fourth rank is known as the Viper. These are equally skilled but slightly more experienced thieves. These are the individuals who will break into homes, businesses, to steal valuables. They sometimes work alone, but more often work in small teams, often use tools of the trade, lockpicks and other tools, to get past security measures. And then we reach the more nefarious ranks that are known. The Venom. These are the middlemen. The Fences. The ones who steal or buy the stolen goods and sell it on. For a profit, of course. They may operate out of a shop or market stall. They may even have connections to other organisations. But deep down, their loyalty is always to the Serpent's Cloak. Perhaps the scariest of all the individuals that work within the Serpent's Cloak, or at least the ranks I have been able to discover, are the ones known as the Shadow Blade. These are high-ranking members of the Serpent's Cloak who plan and execute the most complex of jobs, whether that's heists, assassinations. They have extensive knowledge of their targets, security systems, and they find it easy to manipulate people into helping them achieve their goals. The final rank was difficult to find information on, but seems to be almost a fabled position of sorts. The High Serpent, the one known as the most powerful member of the Serpent's Cloak. They control the organisation's operations. They make decisions about its future. They again might have connections to other criminal organisations. Indeed, it's unknown whether the Serpent's Cloak is a singular organisation or an amalgamation of smaller sects that ultimately work as a larger whole. These High Serpents will often be found, or rumoured to be found, close to powerful figures, politicians, the ones who run the world, so to speak. I think I will have to leave my investigations into the Serpent's Cloak here. As to discover any more, I am pretty sure will put my life in more danger than I wish it to be. And that probably covers around 3 or 4 pages of this book. It's not a large book by any means.
Well, I don't know what I have gotten myself into, but I have. So silver linings is they seem like they will be able to help us, and we might find information on them.
Seems like it's a tricky thing to try and leave them, though.
But I am already in it. If I knew that 6 months ago, I would never have got the help from that budding individual.
Yeah,
They
I
were
hope they don't
probably
try and make you
only,
do some of that stuff that's there.
Yes, they were
assassinations.
probably only like was it a fang or whisperer? They were probably just trying to move up the ranks themselves by having people below them. I thought it was odd at the time. Oh well, as I say, I believe I am far gone from being able to walk away. So
Well, what you might think, reading the descriptions there when you were talking about it, the people who are fences and deal in stolen goods, that could quite easily be Rashid, right? Do you think he could be a member of the Serpent's Cloak, trading in stolen goods? He just sell to some nefarious individuals.
He could quite possibly. And again,
If he is a member, he may be able to either protect you or help you get out if you wanted to.
at the very least, give more information as to whether it is just. I bet it is a rat run at the bottom. They are all going to be snitches and sneaks, and it seems like, yes, you do want some friends in high places. So
Well, dealing in information and trade goods seems to be a better path at the Serpent's Cloak than assassinations and thievery.
I could not agree more. And to get up to that level quickly, to avoid the least amount of bloodshed possible, I think that is possibly a way I have to go. Otherwise, yes, I will not enjoy what I do, and, well, as you say, there is no way out. So
I forgot I was going to ask Cog whether he'd heard of this most illustrious ancient silent order of Sithyrus. Oh,
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is we're about an hour and a half in. So let's take a short break. I'll allow you to process that information. And then when we come back, we will speak to Cog and see what Cog knows, if anything. So, yeah, stick around, folks. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first half so far, and we will see what the second half has in store for our intrepid investigators. See you in a few.
Oh,
Hey, yo.
hello.
Well, welcome back. I hope everybody caught the advert from Bodhi, Homie and the Dude, during the ad break there, talking about Sky Zephyrs. I've dropped the link into the chat to the Kickstarter so you can get yourself sort of notified when it goes live. We will, of course, let folks know when it goes live as well. And there'll be a few more posts on social media, etc., as we go through the next few weeks and months. But it does look pretty exciting, and seeing as we've already got an airship crew full of NPCs ready to go, I think it would be rude of us not to at least try and see what this new module looks like when it does finally land. Cool. So, we are in the middle of the library. We have just discovered information about the Serpent's Cloak and new information about an organisation we previously didn't know or understand, but supposedly the one that Ashira Nightshade, the mysterious individual that had been watching and helped, belongs to. The symbol of the book and the maze and the arcane runes. Lex, you wanted to ask Cog something.
yes. Fucking hell, choked on my own saliva then, sorry. But that wasn't in character.
1d6 acid damage.
Classes will lean in and say, yes, that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Lex would he have? Lex wouldn't have a gag reflex, would he? Dislocate. He's a snake, so he could dislocate his jaw and everything. He could put balls in it as well.
I mean, it's a humanoid with snake-like features. You are not the full UNT with snake's head, so not quite.
In my
You've got
head,
a gag reflex, I would imagine.
He's good at sucking dick.
Unless you are deep-throater by trade, yeah.
Yeah. Train. I'm not sure that's something I'd learn on Mechanist, to be fair. But, you know...
Kids got to survive somehow, I guess.
Well, at the end of campaign 2, I'm sure Carsus will have teabagged me by some degree at some point.
We've already established that Mechanus has come as
yes,
lubricant, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I've totally gone off piece. Cog.
Welcome back, everyone.
So is Chair.
2 minutes of just random discussion.
This is what happens on Modern Magic every week. Yeah.
Would you want to be good at blowjobs? Discuss.
Should I start? You know when royals are
an essay.
Who's pro and who's against? Hang on.
King Ander, first of his name, saviour of Nyland and all that. It's going to be Lex Ordo, deep throater by trade. That's what it's going to be wherever I go.
That's your tombstone.
That's a subtitle, surely.
So we've got the Untouchable Swordsman, deep throater by trade, and dual. You need one now.
I do, apparently.
It'll come. It has to come naturally. We can't force it.
That's what she said.
I'm sure it will, yeah.
Title of your sex tape or something. I don't know.
So,
right. You wanted to ask Cog a question. Let's get back onto the fucking subject.
Karg, have you ever heard of this Silent Order of Sithyrus? It sounds like something Mechanus and Primus would be interested in. Does he have allies on this side?
Roll me a wisdom check for Cog, please.
Oh God!
Or, in fact, no, roll me an intelligence check for Cog, I should say.
Oh, fucking hell! -3. Right, here we go. Brace yourself. 13. He's rolled better than me, the bastard.
13. There's the sound of sort of Cog's whirring as Cog's eye sort of just goes almost dead focused for a second, looks almost through you as Cog flutters around in front of you. And then again, those clicks, those whirs, that mechanical language, which you understand, comes back. Sitharas, familiar. Faction not.
Care to elaborate on that? Who's Sitharas?
Sitharas, rumoured, powerful individual.
Like a god? Like a divine
person
power?
of note. Not divine.
Do you think it's a line of investigation worth pursuing?
Does Sitharas involve planes?
Well, if they seek to bring order to this realm, then they might have something to say about the portals and the planar disturbances. They might be investigating something similar. It's worth asking.
Perhaps find faction. Your decision.
Okay. To everyone else, that would have just sounded like whirs and beeps.
Yeah. It was two Star Wars droids just going at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake, cyborg relations.
Snake cyborg relations. That's good.
Again, the title of my sex tape.
I'll bring the snake, you bring the cyborg.
Oh, what is going on tonight? Oh dear. Okay, folks. So what are we doing?
I will turn to my colleagues and I'll say, Lex, did Cog have something to say?
He hasn't heard of the Order of Sitharas, but he has heard of Sitharas, who's apparently, or was, a powerful individual in his day. Yet to be determined whether pursuing who this order is or what they do will pan out, but my running theory is if they also like to or want to restore balance, then maybe they are also investigating planar disturbances or something similar to us. And that is why Ashira has been watching us. Maybe.
Well, I was looking a little bit more into shadows and the summoning of creatures of the kind, and I did find out that it seems to all be related to people pulling creatures from other, they call it worlds, but I think we're really talking about planes here. So it seems like someone reaches out to the other planes and just grabs, if not the creatures themselves, an essence of them. And that allows for, just allows for them to have a shadowy form, or maybe an undead form, or whatever that might be.
So the investigation might be linked to my planar mission then, more than we thought.
Yeah, and I'm thinking if these reports of portals opening are becoming increasingly more frequent, then that means that someone is making it so. And in doing so, they might be pulling more and more stuff through.
Do we think that might have something to do with what happened to me yesterday? It admittedly was the first thing I was trying to look for in here. I have to be honest. In the way I was, there was sort of shadow in how I hurt the other people and seemed to not get hurt.
What did it feel like?
I felt, I want to say cold, but I think it was a lack of feeling. But also, yes, when that other sort of version of myself went to go and attack, yes, a cold numbing that was almost pulled away from me, and it just... I have felt that sort of effect, but in the way we have been hurt, a certain type of sort of pain and effect. But no, it wasn't like it hurt me, it just... almost the opposite. I did not feel good.
Was it a similar feeling to when you were trapped in that limbo state where we had to bring your spirit back?
I still don't remember too much from that. I kind of do. Maybe, but again, it seems like it is connected to the other worlds or planes as we are trying to interconnect. I am getting flashes of the time I was there, but less of the feelings of how I was there, more what I saw. Never know whether it is still the dreams that we have. Large beings and forms and the endless sight. It is so unusual because obviously of what I think I am remembering from that is all I could feel, whereas now I have a frame of reference, so I'm standing here, I am fighting, my heart is racing, and yet I then feel like part of me is pulled away from me, or that the knife didn't hit me, but did. I cannot explain it other than that.
I mean, you have been through something that I think neither of us can even begin to understand.
Nor can I. I have no frame of reference.
Perhaps a little bit more knowledge or a little bit more training and understanding of what happens to you when those things occur.
Yeah.
I suppose you're right. I thought it was like a spell that one of you had put on me. Clearly not. So I have to find out if it was something I came back with, whether it was part of the ritual that has done this to me.
I mean,
well, yeah.
I do not believe it was. I know you said it was my the ring of that helps me get around. It is not. That much I am sure of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be a side effect of whatever we went through.
That's what I'm thinking. You did pass through. You did pass through. If not a portal, then I mean something of the kind. So maybe not all of you came back, but you also came back with something else.
Yeah, I mean, part of you was on a different plane. Maybe you just haven't fused together fully yet.
So do we need to go back to that temple?
I'm not sure they would. Would they know? I'm not sure they would know.
No. You were talking to me not of Ray, the one you went to, the King's Tomb. Sorry.
Oh,
If I need to get another part of myself, you said that you heard, you heard my voice there. Maybe I do need to go there and see if I can reconnect myself. I mean, I feel fine now, to say, but obviously these things happen to me. I do not know when it will.
maybe when we're we'll have to see if it happens again, and maybe if we want to, we could see what we can find out more on the astral plane, or even go back there if we wanted to. I mean, we have got the necklace to open a portal, but that seems too risky for me.
I think I would only want to do that when we have reached our destination and we have asked them more.
Yeah. Maybe the Arcanists, Artemisia's circle of magic people will.
That does not sound like something Matt would say.
The crystalline circle.
There we go. I know there was a circle involved.
Member of the Crystalline Circle. There we go. I didn't get that quick enough.
Yeah, so maybe they might be able to offer some guidance on it. If they're their most knowledgeable magic users in Ardalia, they should know similar about this, surely.
Then I want to know more as quickly as possible. But that's yes. Coming back to the reals and the now, we have other things to. I have other things to do in the city, but. Do you feel like we've made headway? It feels like it.
I feel like you have a lead there, Cursus. I think the planar disturbances, my mission on portal investigation and the shadow creatures are more intertwined than I first thought.
I just want to put this out there because I'm thinking about it, and if these things start occurring more and more frequently, then I think it's one of two things that might be happening. Either someone is trying to bring a lot of things through, or someone is trying to bring one big thing through. And just making the portals bigger. I honestly don't know which one's worse. But I also don't know what they're trying to bring, because we don't know.
So,
I will point out that I also started on my my travels, because something very similar to what was happening in Thalissa was happening in my village, and I actually
it is spreading.
I have been quite fearful of sending any messages to them, saying anything. So I cannot necessarily know if it is still happening, but I chased someone from there who I had not seen before. Fully believes that they are connected to it. Now, are they doing it in multiple places, or was it a pure coincidence that there was two very similar machines, contraptions in Thalissa? Is that a center point, or are they doing anything else? Anywhere else? Is there one here? Maybe we need to know if someone is doing something here.
Well, I was just about to say, maybe, I know it's a much larger city, but it may be worth trying to find out whether similar goings-on have been happening in Agruz. Have people been going missing, having their life force drained, repulsive shadows? But what has worried me, if you said they're trying to bring more people through, do you think they might be stealing life force to try and power something at the other side? Or give power to something or someone on the other side?
Something of this magnitude will clearly require power. The fact that it uses life force is truly horrible.
I'm thinking we need to speak to her. I need to try and speak to Ashira some more. If something like that is happening in the groups, they must know. If people are going missing,
I also
disturbances.
I also think that it would be folly of me not to check with my connection.
Yeah, but
sort of looking
you
around.
still haven't completed whatever their first mission is for you. The more you ask, the more they're going to take.
Which is why I am going to have to do what they ask. Go on my first assignment, and hope that over time we can gain it as a useful source of information. Like we have just read, they have their fingers in many pies. I may hate myself for it, but we have got to try and get as much information as possible.
Matt,
Yes.
whilst this conversation's happening, I would like to grab the book with symbols. And I want to try and
As in
find...
the book of the factions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to try and find something that resembles the symbol that the shadows left on people.
Oh.
So like the bird's eye view of the contraption that the Artemisia had.
Wasn't the contraption mark
Mr.
the
Big
symbol
Boy
of
Brain
their
over here?
order? The
Sorry?
contraption symbol wasn't the contraption symbol the symbol of their crystalline circle?
Of the crystalline circle.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the mark the shadows
Make an
left.
investigation check, please.
Regardless, it'll be useful to get information on it. Either way.
Yeah.
26.
Go.
26.
Nice.
You flick through this book and very quickly find the symbol you are looking for. And it reads, the crystalline circle. And there is a full chapter devoted to this particular group within Ardalia. And the entry begins reading along the lines of the crystalline circle are perhaps one of the most commonly known organizations and factions throughout the world of Ardalia. They are the most prolific order of mages across the world. Within Enoeth itself, they have a grand tower and arcane place or place of arcane study on the isle known as the Crystalline Isle, so called for the strange blue crystals that seem to erupt out of the floor. This group of wizards and mages are known to dabble in all forms of magic, although for the majority, the darker forms of magic are prohibited, or at least restricted. Again, there are clear ranks and clear identifiers throughout the Crystalline Circle. There are the Arch Mages, or the Arch Magi, the most powerful and respected members of the magisterium, if you like, within the Crystalline Circle. These are the ones who hold the highest regard within the tower. They are responsible for overseeing the education of the other students, as well as researching and developing new spells and magical knowledge. There are the professors, those experienced wizards who teach various magical disciplines such as divination, transmutation, and to some, necromancy. They are also responsible for grading and evaluating all student progress. There are the librarians, the keepers of the tower's vast library, which is said to contain rare and ancient magical tomes, scrolls, and artifacts. These librarians are not only responsible for maintaining the library, but are also responsible for acquiring and cataloguing new additions to the Crystalline Circle's collection. There are the Wardens, the protectors of the tower, those who are responsible for maintaining security of the premises and keeping unwanted visitors out. They are skilled in combat magic and are always ready to defend the tower against threats. There are then the Alchemists, those who specialise in magical potions, elixirs, and alchemical substances. They work closely with professors to teach the students about the properties and effects of such alchemical creations. And then there are the enchanters, members of the magisterium within the circle who specialise in the art of enchantment, creating magical items such as wands, rings, and amulets. They work with the archmagi and professors to develop new enchantments and imbue them into magical items. The current archmage who heads the magisterium within the Azure Pillar at the Crystalline Circle is known as Alaric, Master Alaric. Described as a tall and imposing figure with a long white beard flowing down to his waist and piercing blue eyes. He is revered throughout the land for his incredible magical prowess and brilliant mind. While he has spent decades studying and mastering every aspect of magic, and is in some cases considered to be the greatest wizard of the time, he does tend to specialise. He is described as a wise and just leader, fiercely protective of his students. But all the while, there are rumours and talk of his specialty in divination magic. He is known to scry on distant locations, foresee events before they occur. Sort of tails off for a bit into vague descriptions of what Alaric looks like. Talks about the structure of the Azure Pillar itself, which is this Grand Wizard's Tower on the Crystalline Isle.
Does it mention at all the robes of the each groups and what they may or may not wear? For instance, whether any of them wear a black robe with purple and blue lines.
I'll say, as Kirik is flicking through this, the robes that are described on... Karsis, fucking hell. My brain today.
I am wearing a Kirik t-shirt, so that's why.
Yeah, it does say Kirik right above Karsis,
right? Yeah, we'll blame that, sure. So as Karsis is reading this and sort of describing it to you, the robes that are described of the various ranks within the Crystalline Circle are more in line with those that Artemisia wore, as opposed to being dark red or dark in nature.
There's nothing.
However, with such a high...
Yeah, so I was going to say there's nothing in particular that says that Artemisia had a particular rank in this.
Or is she
not based on
Ravenclaw or anything like that?
Not based on that description, no. There is a small footnote at the end of the final chapter on the Crystalline Circle. During my studies of the Crystalline Circle and speaking to certain individuals, I found rumours of a splinter group within the circle, supposedly long defeated, but my source was certainly not sure. This group was said to have tried to dominate and control, gain power and influence, and use their knowledge to take control of the surrounding areas. There was mention of summoning more powerful entities to do their bidding and further their goals. The only name that was mentioned of this group was known as the Conclave, and I have been unable, thus far, to uncover any more.
A clue, Sherlock. What's an ejaculation on an upstairs window?
Summoning powerful creatures to do their bidding?
That almost is word for word what you described them as, Cassius, only moments ago.
I think we need to pay a visit to the crystalline cavern, to crystalline circle. Then, sure.
More so than we already planned. The fact that they were leaving the mark, very similar, very similar. Almost could be just a mirror of it. We do not know.
Yeah.
They are.
And I know I keep going on about Shira, and I seem obsessed about their organization. But if they are also fighting in the background against injustice and chaos and people disturbing the order of things, they may be in a secret battle with the Conclave. Although they have been defeated.
Supposedly once defeated, long defeated ago, we know otherwise.
So maybe there's a secret war going on.
Well, I think
that's the best lead we've had so far.
There's quite a lot to learn today.
How do we get there? What is the best way?
Well, we probably have to find some form of transportation within the city to...
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
maybe we can get some horses or something of the like.
Do you think it's worth pursuing or investigating whether any disturbances like what happened in Thalis have happened here?
Sorry, DM, did we get given a map?
Yes, you did get given a map,
we
but you're
did,
also
okay.
in a library which talks about geography as well. So
Well, I was
going
to say, if we didn't have a map, I was going to say we're going to find a map. So I suppose, actually, no, I will.
Yes.
Jewel will still run off to the geography section, try and find a map of... we're in Enoweth now, so if actually find a more detailed map of Enoweth and come back with it.
And is there any schematics of quad bikes we could build?
You are
Quad of
so
bikers.
multi-classing in that artifice, so it's not
So
even
you
funny.
I'm good at it.
you got given a map by the magistrate. But yes.
Yes.
Which was an overall map, but yeah, this one would be much, like you say, trying to find that more localised to capture where we are and where we're going.
Well, I suppose we could try and spend some time to find if something is happening here. But I think the crystalline circle will have some information about what might be happening, or at least more than what we have now. They might be tracking these things. They might, Artemisia was part of them, and she was the one that first got to us and wanted us to deal with it.
I totally agree. We have to also bear in mind we are probably going. Well, they are sticking their head in the sand if they do not know of this. But we may be going with some rather, with some information they are not quite happy to hear. But that is not for us.
But it's probably best they hear it from us than anyone else. At least we'll get our version of the story out there.
That is true, and if they are the most commonly known, then hopefully they also have some influence. And we hope that they will hear our side. There is a good chance we will be taken into that tower in handcuffs by the wardens. Just so that we all know that. And do not make a fuss.
Me and Lex will, I'm Lex, sorry. Lex too. Me and Carsus will probably go in and you'll disappear anyway, so it'll be us two in handcuffs and you in the rafters.
As much as I believe that would be wonderful if I could, this is an army or a tower full of very, very arcane people. I do believe that every single one of them will be able to see me.
True. So just me and you won't be able to see.
I'll say as you stretch the map across the table then, just while this conversation is going on, just to describe the local area to you, you can see a Gruz at the southwestern point of the Gildorn region, right next to a river which is known as the Tharadun River, which I've just realised that my map doesn't actually connect to anything, which is fantastic. I will go and fix that. Just seems to spring up out of the middle of nowhere. There is a bridge across that river called the Bridge of Tharadun, which then shows a road or major route heading northwest, which is not the way you need to be going. There are no roads, northeast. There are no roads heading directly west, but there are shipping routes from what you can see. There is an island to the southwest known as Savage Rift Isle. And the sea that you would cross is known as the Sea of Lost Souls.
Cheerful.
Just above, to the northwest of the Savage Rift Isle, you see an island called the Crystalline Isle. And with a distinct mark as a point of interest at the centre of that island is something called the Azure Pillar, which is where you were told the Crystalline Circle lies. Now, about halfway between Agruz and the Crystalline Isle, the Azure Pillar, there is a grand lake known as Lake Enoa, and we probably want to zoom right in just below the Serena swamps there, Dave, if you can. That's it. It's a full HD map. So you can see there is an outpost known as the Enoa Outpost, but no real clear way how to get there. So it is up to you now how you plan to travel in that direction, if at all.
Sorry, I was looking for that map the entire time you were talking. I was half taking it in. We
That's
have
fine.
found out that we can get over the bridge, but it doesn't really lead anywhere.
So you can see the route, the Bridge of Tharadun there, the main route there heads to the northeast and up past Gildorn and out into the Viridian Vale.
Where we don't want to go, yeah.
You've got shipping routes from the port of Agruz that go past the Crystalline Isle, but don't necessarily go to it. They head all the way off to the east.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long way.
It is a very long way. Just to put it into perspective, each one of those hexes is 30 miles.
So each one takes 3 days to walk. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, can we afford an airship? I mean, last time we got on one, it was from a magistrate.
True.
Paid for it. So
Or we get
That's
passage
9
with the train
away.
routes.
that's 21 days by walking.
So it's about 6 months to us in our lives.
Yeah. As you say, depending and totally guessing, that's probably, as you say, at least a week's worth of travel by airship, probably.
Christmas
5 to 7
episode,
days.
The Crystalline Isle, though, would be nice.
So you would know that. So the Ebon Mirth was capable of travelling between 5 and 10 miles per hour, depending on how hard Romeo was pushing it. But it wasn't the biggest airship. So there's probably ships that can travel faster than that. You have no idea how fast a water-based vessel could travel, having not experienced one, at least in this campaign so far. But while we are thinking about that,
we could try and gain passage on a trade ship, can we?
Do that, grab a boat, jump off, and try and go for the Azure Pillar. But
because in theory, if it's the Crystalline Isle, they would need components for their spells shipping across.
I mean, fourth walling it, they would just use teleportation the entire frigging time, so probably it's quite difficult to actually get there.
Touché.
Lex, I'm going to say in this moment then, as you are discussing with your allies the best way to head west and get to the Crystalline Isle, you feel a slight pulsing in your jacket pocket, but not the one that Cog usually resides in. As you reach in,
Still
you
there.
pull out a small stone.
Oh, I've got a voicemail.
And as you grip onto that stone, you hear the magistrate's voice in your head. My friend, you must run, and run quickly. They know you are. Word is out. I cannot protect you any longer. I must go into hiding myself. Run, and be safe.
Can I reply with, it's a bit fucking late? No, I won't actually do that, but that's what I'm thinking.
That's it. That's your use of the spell for the day.
No, I will form a normal reply. Bounty hunters have already attacked us. Did they send another party? Oh, he can't tell me back, can he? Fuck. Alright, bounty hunters have already reached us. You lay low, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, that certainly accelerates our plans.
I hope he's referring to the people we've already gotten rid of and not another group.
Regardless, it does bring us back to the reminder that we have already been found, and it will only be a mere matter of days before more people are sent when that bounty hunter does not come back with his reward. For his reward. So, yes. I am sorry that we are going to be delayed.
Well,
But I will make it as quickly as I can. One more day. If that works. 24 hours.
Do you think
So then,
somebody from the Crystalline
Carry
Isle
on,
will
Lex.
be here in a cruise? Do you think maybe we could find somebody dressed in the robes and just get them to take them back with us?
I mean, that's trying
It's
to
a
find
needle in
one
a haystack.
person in
Yeah.
trying to find one person in the city. I mean,
Hang on. There was the teachers.
Oh, in this university?
So, yes, the professors now, alchemists. Maybe they do come and work with the universities. This may well be the best place that we can find anyone who knows of them.
you're not wrong.
Would the palace have a high mage that they keep at court? Is that something they would
We
do?
are three
They-
fugitives. That is not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't think that through.
The university is bad enough. I look up at this point and just check the three other people in the library are away and not listening to us.
they
We
have
haven't been told
heads
to shush
down in
once.
books. Don't seem to be bothered by what's being discussed. Yeah. You are going to have to forgive me, folks. I've been sitting here trying not to leave the room, but I desperately need to go and get a tissue and blow my nose.
It's fine.
Give me 5 minutes,
Do what you gotta do, mate.
please. I hate
It's
to do it on
alright.
stream, but
Don't
just
worry.
give me a second.
You're streaming on stream. Go sort your nose out.
Oh, I mean, what do we think? We've got to get out. Rapid. We've got to find the quickest way. I think you're right. Let's find someone who can get us out by magical means. If not, it is charter a ship, and at least then it's only the people on the ship that you have to worry about.
Yeah, and do you
true.
think then it's worth going? Because Rashid's in a cruise, isn't he? you think-
Yes, I think so.
Was he? Rashid?
No.
I think so.
Gilles-
Rashid's
that
in
was
the
Gilles-
in the
Gilles
other.
Dawn.
Yeah, and the other one in... Bear with me while I just bring it up normally. Zumkar.
There we go, fucking hell. Gilles Dawn's a continuity thing. Yeah, I was thinking he might be able to get his room now, but we're nowhere near him.
Yeah, let me
Because
see
if
I can
we
just bring that
go
one
on
up.
trade
So do
routes,
that.
even if we go on a trade ship, somebody on a trade ship will definitely give us up for money.
We've almost got to find a nefarious group who don't mind who we are, but again, that's why I'm still having to go down. It sucks, but Serpent's Cloak are going to help us here. Although they may also, Well, no, actually, do you know what? That is incredible. It may be the only time it's useful to actually be a member of the Serpent's Cloak, because they are not going to give one of themselves up. Because otherwise they would just otherwise they would already sold us. They would have already just be like, here they are.
True.
So it is the only reason why this group is alive, is because actually Jewel is part of them.
So do you think we either ask the Serpent's Cloak, which we know will have consequences, or we ask Lampshade if she'll help us get out?
All of a sudden, a bookshelf falls on top of Lex.
Books
I know she's watching this. If I keep mispronouncing her name, she'll get annoyed enough to come out.
I think we need to try all of them. We need to try if there is anyone in the university. Try and get some information to the Nightshade. See if there is... I worry, as you say. Do you go for a common trade ship, or do you go for someone who is a little more uncouth? And the other option is see if the Serpent's Cloak will help us get out of here.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to be indebted to that sort of organisation, to be honest. But I know you already are. But I don't want you to go further down the rabbit hole.
Yes, but think about this. In the description, they would sell anyone out just for the bounty, and they have not done it to us. And that the only reason is because I am already a part of it. So that is the only reason that we are still okay. Surely, they therefore will help one of their own. They have loyalty to that, even if the rest of it is a little is less than okay.
So, you'll do whatever it is they ask you to do, and then maybe once that happens, they'll be indebted to you.
Less indebted, but more likely to open up their resources to me, knowing full well that they are going to want information from me or help and resources. The point is, I can say to them that if I stay in a cruise and try and learn more, then I am going to be dead. So we tell them that I am indebted to them and I am part of it, but in order to help them further, I must go. But they will only do that when I have done what they have asked for me. I think I need to go do this, or look into this further, while you try and see if there is anyone else arcane who can get us out of here. We must split up.
Not
one
fan
of us is
of
going to
that,
die. No.
but I know that you probably want to do your job by yourself. So
it is not that I actually want to do it by myself. I wish I could take you along with me, but yes, I feel like this will have to be by myself.
Yeah. All right. So let's ask around if there might be someone arcane that can take us. Then collect I'll need to collect my weapons from the blacksmith and hopefully find a way out.
Do you know when the blacksmith is going to complete their work? So do we know when they can pick them up?
Like half an hour, wasn't it, Matt? It was meant to be.
Excuse me, lost my voice totally there. It was half an hour.
Yeah.
And you have probably been down here for a couple of hours at least.
Probably took us half an hour to get to the library.
Yeah, well, but by now it should already be done. You said half an hour, and we've been a couple.
Yes.
Do you think it's worth asking the nice Furbolg on reception whether he knows of any visiting professors at the university?
I do not believe we are going to leave or be able to leave until the morning. So that is one thing to bear in mind. But that is probably the time limit that we are giving ourselves. It is sensible, it is reasonable, and it is the closest that we can leave.
That sounds like a plan.
We have our deadline.
Indeed.
Where shall we meet? After you've done your whatever you need to do.
Tavern?
The tavern's a room. I will be back there by the evening, I am sure. There is the task requires me to gather information. I do not want to bore you with it.
Right.
I'll inside check that. $19.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, come on!
That's pretty good.
Deception or persuasion then, Jewel? Don't tell us which.
Okay. Just out of interest, what are the two different ones? Because I need to remember that. Yeah, cool. Do math, 21.
God damn it.
Oh, nice.
So there's a moment, Lex, where you're looking at Jewel and you think, I can see right... No.
I suppose what you get
Got
is
this.
Jewel needs to gather information.
There is work to be done.
And then Jewel just disappears.
Hilariously, could do that with just Misty Step, but be a massive waste.
Yep. All right, let's head up.
Okay.
Cool.
So you all exit the library, head up. The receptionist is still there. That's still there. That male Furbolg. He's now got sort of these spectacles at the end of his nose, and is just writing notes on a piece of paper. And as you exit the library, you just sort of, did you find everything you needed?
Yes, actually, thank
Yes,
you.
I
My
think we did.
companion
Thank you.
is very happy with the results. I wanted to ask you: is there any department maybe here that deals with transportation magic when just swapping between places, as it were? Perhaps a service that is provided?
You might be better heading towards the arcane quarter, but I suppose you could ask those that study the bardic arts if they have any of the capabilities. It's, I'm afraid, not something that's taught in the central university here, but in some of the surrounding colleges. But the arcane quarters to the east of the city, they are most certainly going to have the capabilities that you're looking for.
As a man who was a bard in a past life, they don't do teleportation spells, they merely die as a result. Just FYI for the group. I've done too many harkbacks to campaign 1. I'm obviously a bit nostalgic tonight. It's because you're wearing your character t-shirt.
I know. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll be back. It was a very educational trip to the library.
You are most welcome. I'm afraid next time you will need to pay for entry to the library, of course. You didn't take any books with you, did you? You left them all downstairs?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
correct.
Very well.
Double checking. I'll just look at Jules just to make sure that's a true statement.
Jules not there. Jules gone.
Oh,
Again.
Doctor.
I mean, you two are the only people who met, so no way is she going to stand next to you at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jules, out of here.
Yeah, let's head out then, in that case.
I do, however, wait for them outside.
Good luck. Okay. So as you both step outside, Jewel is just stood there, leant up against the wall. Where are we heading?
Well, we could head to the arcane quarter of the city. That's in the opposite direction of the blacksmith, right? By my estimation.
Yes, kind of. Yeah. So the blacksmith is south of your location. The arcane quarter is east.
Yeah. So we could head back to blacksmith, grab what I need, and then maybe come back. I mean, Lex, you could. Do you think you could go? If we're gonna split, then maybe we can split. Maybe just cover more ground, as it were.
You want me to go?
Maybe you can head to the arcane quarter, see if there's anyone there that can teleport.
Okay. I'll meet you back at the tavern.
Have I given you mage armor yet today?
No, I gave people aid, but I haven't got mage armor.
Okay. In that case, I will give you mage armor today.
Oh, thank you, sir. Much obliged. Yeah. Happy days. Okay, I'll meet you back at the tavern this evening.
So, Lex, you head to the east of the city and wander off to go and find the arcane quarter. Jewel, you head
about 10 or 15 steps behind Carsis, where he's going back to the blacksmith's.
Very good.
But I do tell Carsis
They.
that I am heading. That I am heading off on my errands.
Very good.
And I'll go to the
So,
blacksmith.
as Lex just removes a stray tabaxi.
That was Rogue. That was Jules. She was following me.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Excellent. So I say, Carsis, you wander off then. Jewel not far behind. Jewel then explains she needs to go and deal with things. You go and find the blacksmith. Roughly around the same time, then, Carsis, you enter the blacksmith's smithy. And Lex, you wander quite far to the east of the city. Indeed, to the eastern gate of the city, almost. And as you look to your right, you can see buildings that are quite clearly arcane in nature. Or at least buildings that house the study of the arcane. There is a central building with another one of these sort of glittering domes at the top. But around are these structures with floating stones and almost like arcane sculptures of sorts. There are people evidently practicing magic within the various courtyards, and you see people practicing all the different kinds of magic. There's maybe somebody staring into a mirror. There's somebody that is changing a potted plant into an owl. There's somebody that is casting fire in their hand. Another person that is casting ice in their hand. And then there's others who seem to be engaged in some form of mental competition of sorts. But you have found the arcane quarter of the city. What do you want to do?
So, is there a way that I could see if there's an arcane quarter? I'm assuming there will kind of be different splits within that as well. So there'll be like the way you describe people practicing different things. Is there some people that seem to be practicing teleportation, or is there any signs that say that sort of magic? is on offer. Is there
Give
shops
me a
where you can
perception
purchase it?
check, please.
Oh, roll better. 12.
12. This one's not difficult to really see. There's an area where you do see almost things that are like shop fronts as such, and they are probably shops or providers of services depending on the school of magic. And then outside one of these shops you do see a couple of individuals that are drawing a circle on the floor, and then they sort of look to each other, smile, and one individual steps into it and begins to chant, and then there is this rush of arcane power and they are gone.
Exactly what I need. I'll make a beeline for that shop.
Okay. So the one individual that's still stood outside is sort of looking at the spell circle. Well, I think it worked.
Hello there. Just out of curiosity, would you be willing to do that for paying customers?
Sorry, willing to do what?
Transfer people from one place to another using that circle there.
Oh, this. Sorry, we were practicing for our studies. My mother is just inside. She might be able to help. Occasionally she does it for coin.
Thank you. Now, I'll head into the shop.
Okay. You wander in and you see a very slender female woman, very slender female, half-elven in nature, or at least she looks half-elven. There's a slight peak to the ear. I can't even think of the term now, my brain's just shutting down. But as she turns around, her eyes, the irises, are almost pure gold. And she just looks at you and says, "Hello, welcome to, well, it's not really a shop, welcome to my home. Can I help you?"
Hi. Sorry, I was quite distracted by your eyes.
Yes, I am told they are quite distracting.
In a good way. Sorry, I'm not making sense. I'm here to procure your services, hopefully. If you were willing to teleport me and my friends somewhere for coin.
Where is it you are trying to get to?
The Crystalline Isle. Or as close to it as possible.
Ah. And I'm glad you followed up with the second point there. Teleporting into without authorization is, well, not possible. There are wards and magical protections around the isle itself.
That's understandable. I wouldn't want to go against any protocols.
However, I can get you to the outpost, which is still a distance, but it is closer, and at least you are the other side of the lake.
That would be a great help. I looked on the map, and that seems to be one of the closest points.
Yes, there are no... My voice is going now. Excuse me. There are no
like
clear...
your husky voice as well as your eyes.
Thank you very much. You are very sweet. I'm afraid I am married, though. I would like to put that just out.
Oh, I didn't mean to get into that situation. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry.
Don't worry yourself, my friend. My wife would be impressed by your flattery. Listen, the process will take me some time to gather materials when we are hoping to travel.
Well, we have some things to tie up here, so we were hoping to do so tomorrow, if that's not too soon.
Okay, I will have to head to the market very, very soon. Would you be willing to pay half up front and half upon delivery?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Do I need to sign any deposit form or?
Your gold will be enough. And how many
how much
people
would the upfront cost be?
How many people am I taking?
3.
3 people. Searching through my services now. Oh, let's due to the urgency and the need to go and get materials, probably around 600 gold pieces.
As the half price deposit, or is the full
Oh,
price?
no, sorry, that will be the total price for it. So 300
okay.
now, 300 later.
That works. Fucking hell, I've only got 117 gold and the rest is platinum, so let's do some maths.
It's 30 platinum.
Yep, I'll just give it. She's going to think I'm a right baller when I give her 30 platinum.
She does look at the platinum. Oh, I should have asked for more. But no.
No, this...
I will take it.
Yeah. Don't take that as me being rich. This is just... I got it as payment for another job.
We all must earn our funds somewhere. I will head off. Do you have a particular location where you and your friends are looking to travel from, or do you wish to do it from here?
We are staying at a tavern, but this seems quite... Well, it wouldn't seem out of the norm for a teleportation circle to be set up here, so maybe we come back and meet you here.
Of course. Let us say around maybe the 5th hour of the morning, if you are wishing to make a quick getaway in the morning.
That sounds perfect, thank you.
Very good. I will see you here bright and early in the morning then.
Thank you for being so accommodating. Appreciate it. See you soon.
Quite all right, my friend. I will see you in the morning.
And just in case you didn't know, one of the boys has disappeared out the front. I don't know if that's also your son, but hopefully he'll come back.
Oh, what are you boys doing again? You are playing with spells. Oh, please, I will sort this out. You and your cousins always doing stupid things. And she then just goes and grabs the remaining sort of teenage boy by the ear, bends his ear, and just begins speaking pure Gildornian and sort of drags him in, berating him. But it's the dialect that you don't quite understand. You begin to then wander back towards the tavern then, having secured the services. Karsis, you walk into the smithy, and the halfling is sort of there, and you can see... excuse me. Tear of sorrow laid out in front of her, where she's running an oilcloth over it. Oh, well, you took your time.
Yeah, we got a little bit distracted by other stuff, but here now.
It's quite alright, quite alright. Listen, you've already bought the denier, and I've packaged that up for you, but your sword is sharpened and fit for purpose. A very beautiful blade, if I do say so myself.
It is. Been doing very well with it.
It is well looked after as well. I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you. I do try.
Well, hopefully both of those will suit you. You look like the sort you would wield with both hands.
Yeah, I am known for doing that every so often. Might be thinking about switching it up a little bit, but we'll see. But thank you for your work. They seem like two beautiful blades now.
Well, I hope they see you through. And if you're ever passing through a Gru's again, you know where to come and get your sharp, pointy things, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
No, more than welcome. Tell your friends as well. I mean, there's only me in town, but, well, I'm the best. That was very big-headed of me. I get the most
I mean,
business,
being proud
let's
of-
put it that way.
You can be proud of your work. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I'm proud.
Good.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I've got other items to be crafting and orders to get sorted. So it was a pleasure, and I hope to see you again soon.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you. I'll turn around and leave.
Very good. Karsis, you begin to head back towards the tavern. Jewel.
It's Tear of Sorrow +1 now, sorry.
Tear of Sorrow is a +1 now, yes. For the next combat encounter.
Cool.
Because it's not been fully enchanted, it's just been sharpened. Jewel,
Yes.
where are you and what are you doing?
So I actually followed Carsus all the way to the blacksmiths. And but upon getting near, is now going to case the joint, try and find back doors, windows, entry points, and also to try and find those windows to actually see if there's anything she can see.
Okay. So as you, being very stealthy now at this point, wander around and sort of look around, there is that main sort of opening entrance, if you like, into the building. You then notice
from memory, we saw the blacksmith go off to a certain area, I think go down to go and get the dagger and stuff. From the shop area, was there anything that we saw like up to a flat or the house above or something?
Not as such, no. This is a simple brick building, 1 story high, above ground, if you like. What you saw inside was them go down a few steps, so it's sort of a small platform change, if you like, for them to go and access items that they have in either a storage area, but you also notice some side rooms off of this small smithy. There are windows of a sort. They are basically square or rectangular holes in the brick building that are covered by these cloth structures, if you like, or sort of cloths that are held up so to allow light and air in right now by these stilts, but you get the impression these stilts get folded in and the cloth then comes down to cover the window, either when this individual is out or when they are sleeping.
So do I get the impression that there are areas here where they would stay, or is this purely...
Yes, it is very much a house as well as a smithy.
And can I see through any of those windows of sorts to see if there is that sort of any homely rooms, kitchen that are anything along those lines?
So what you see as you look through one of the windows you find is a small table with a single chair next to it. There is a cup and a sort of a metallic plate on the table with some metallic cutlery around it. There's a fireplace not far from that which is unlit, but you guess is maybe a stove. And then in the corner there is this small halfling-sized bed. So you get the impression this is sort of the living area. And then the rest of the building is very much the smithy.
Does it look like I can get in any of these windows of sorts, or would it be...
Come crawl through the window if you wish.
There's nothing... So, yeah, I get the impression that the fabric would close this entranceway at night.
Yes. Closes the window, at least it covers the window.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So, knowing that she can't do anything now, following the instructions that she's been given, it's not like she can just pop in there now. So, can she see any of the buildings around? Again, she loves the rooftops. Anywhere that she might be able to pop up and hide.
100%. There are buildings around where you could go and hide up onto the flatter roofs. In fact, you're not far from the alley even where you were previously attacked and you had moved up onto the roof.
Okay, so yeah, knowing that that's where we met, it's extremely unlikely they would have picked a place where we could have been seen. So it would be potentially finding somewhere, either that place or somewhere very similar, that she would be able to stake out the place. And probably decide that she would pop off and grab some provisions, a few bits of food and water, and then would head up and straight up onto that area and hunker down and wait.
Okay. So you wander not far away, and sort of then wander some of the market stalls and pay, I will say, 2 copper for just a few hours worth of rations and a water skin, or at least to fill your water skin. And then you head up onto the rooftop and you begin to stake out the place. There are a few people that come and go during the remaining hours of the day, but it's not too busy. You hear the sounds of the anvil, the hammer on the anvil, and metal being worked. And as the sun begins to set, somebody's just falling off the chair or something now, that's fantastic. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, you see a candle flame lit from within the window. And it all goes quiet within the smithy. And I will say at that point, we will leave Jewel in her moral dilemma for this week and pick this up first thing next week. So thank you all. I apologise for my voice tonight and having to disappear midstream. I really don't like doing that, but yes, needed to blow the nose, and everything was just slowly deteriorating throughout the stream there, but we got through it. And a very interesting session it was. Lots of lore, lots of things going on. Now we have the decisions to make around where we go, what we do, both in the immediate term and the longer term. The message from the magistrate as well, ever pressing on our intrepid investigators. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for chatting and being so active within the chat as well. It's amazing to see. As I said at the beginning of the stream, as soon as we hit 100 followers, then we will reveal what the giveaway is and start to work towards getting that given out and do the competition. Please, if you're not following and you want a chance at that, please make sure you are following. Tell your friends if you've enjoyed it. If you feel so inclined as to subscribe, then we will love you forever. It's amazing to get that sort of support, but please don't feel you have to. A follow is more than enough. Please come and check out this episode again on YouTube on Friday and on the podcast when I get it released. I can't promise Friday because I know what I'm like. Hopefully it will be Friday this week. And yes, I think I will leave it there tonight. So just a thank you from us all once again. Stay safe, everyone. We love you all, and we will see you same time next week.